Hi, I am Sharon Lala from New Mexico State University. Welcome to the Power of 10 series. The Power of 10 is designed to minimize your learning time in Canvas and get you started in 10 minutes or less. Today, we're going to cover the topic of discussions. In Canvas, they're either activities or assignments. Now, when thinking about discussions, we want to consider whether or not we are grading the discussion. If you want the discussion to be graded, then it is called an assignment. If you want an ungraded discussion, it's called an activity. So what do you need to create either a discussion activity or a discussion assignment? Let's begin with the discussion activity. For a discussion activity, you need the topic to be discussed and the discussion tool. For a discussion assignment in Canvas, you will need the topic to be discussed and a rubric or other criteria that you are using to evaluate the discussion. You're also going to be using a gradebook tool, the calendar tool, the assignment tool, the discussion tool, and the speed grader tool. Now we're going to build one activity and one assignment. The first one will be the activity. We're going to create an introduction that is ungraded. This introduction is generally a discussion that is created the first couple of weeks of class for students to introduce themselves to each other, as well as for the instructor to introduce him or herself to the students. We're also going to create a discussion assignment. We will have a topic for discussion, and we will tie it to a rubric. Then we will look at the tools that are used through the assignment. Here we are in my Canvas course called Sharon's Playground. We're going to be talking about discussions and assignments. Now I'm going to open up the discussion tool through the course navigation area. And what you're going to see are all of the discussions, whether they're activities or assignments. They will all be listed here through this tool. You can see if it is graded, it'll say this topic is an assignment. Grading will be based on some posts. Now when we go to the assignments tool, only discussions that are assignments will be displayed in this area. In this case, I have a graded discussions assignment group, and I have 3 graded discussions. So we're going to begin by creating the discussion activity. I'm going to go back to the discussions tool, and I'm going to go to the right side of the screen, and you will see a plus sign and start a new topic. I click it. I'm going to write introductions in the title field. I'm going to type in my introduction topic, and I'm going to make it a threaded discussion. I'm going to click more options. You can make some decisions about when this message will be posted. You can delay the posting. You can make a check here to indicate that replies are not visible until after the user's post. You can also enable podcast feeds for this topic. Now I'm not going to check use for grading because again, this is an activity, it is not being graded. If I selected use for grading, it becomes an assignment. I'm going to click on add new topic, and I have now created a discussion that is an activity. To create a discussion assignment, I will do so through the assignments tool. And the reason why I go through the assignments tool instead of the discussions area is because there are a few more options. Notice that I have assignment groups. I have a graded discussion where all my graded discussions will be located. I use these for final grade weights. So I'm going to click the plus sign in the graded discussions band. This is called the add assignment option. I'm going to put in my topic. I must choose the type of assignment I am creating. When I click under type, there are 5 options: assignment, discussion, quiz, external, and not graded. In this case, I'm going to click on discussion because I am creating a discussion assignment. I will go ahead and pick a due date. I will pick May 31st, click done. Then I will put in 25 points. And then right below the points area is a hyperlink called More Options. And this is where I will go ahead and write my topic. I'm going to write in my topic. Again, I'm a very fast typist. I have my text. I verify my title. Now this title is what goes into the gradebook. I have my points. I am going to go ahead and make it available as of today. I am not going to lock it. And notice that it's in the assignment group called Graded Discussions. I click Update Assignment. This now becomes a graded discussion. Now, what I want to do is tie this graded discussion to a rubric. Now, I have already made my rubric for my discussion assignments. So I'm going to click on the assignment that I want to assign my rubric to. And in the very middle of this discussion, toward the end, there is an Add Rubric. I'm going to click on Add Rubric. And you can create a rubric or find an existing rubric. I'm going to find an existing rubric. I click on it. Now I have a number of rubrics here. I can scroll to see which rubric I want by looking at them. I'm going to look at my graded discussion rubric. It has my 3 criteria. And this is the one I want, so I'm going to click on Use this rubric. When I do, I am actually tying the rubric to this assignment. I can exit out and that rubric will be tied. So now the students can see the rubric while they're communicating through this discussion. Now, I mentioned some other tools if it's an assignment discussion. First of all, you can see your, if it's a graded discussion, then it's automatically going to be placed on the global calendar. Remember, I put a date of May 31st. This class is yellow or goldish color, and you'll see that this assignment is now on the calendar. I can also go to my grades area. I'm going to click the global grades, click Sharon's Playground, and you'll also see that the assignment now has a column in the gradebook. A tool that you're going to be using in order to grade is going to be called Speed Grader. So in the gradebook, I can go to the column for this discussion assignment and click on Speed Grader. When the students have completed the assignment will be listed here in this area. I can then view the rubric, assign the grades to the rubric. There are little comment areas to make a comment about that particular criteria. And then I can save it. And then I can also add a comment at the bottom. By typing a comment and pressing submit. So what we covered in a short 10 minutes is the difference between a discussion assignment and a discussion activity. If you want your discussion to be graded, accounted for, or on the calendar, you'll want to create a discussion assignment. If you want your discussion to be ungraded and don't care if it's on the calendar or in the gradebook, then you will create a discussion activity. I want to thank you for attending the Power of 10 series. This is Sharon Lala, and I'm sure I'll see you again.